When most people think of Apple, their minds instantly jump to the iPhone, the MacBook Pro, or maybe even futuristic products like the Vision Pro headset. But hidden in plain sight, there's a small machine that's been quietly carrying the Mac lineup for years, the Mac Mini. It doesn't have the glamour of a MacBook you can show off in a cafe, and it doesn't carry the cultural weight of the iMac's iconic design. But don't let its size fool you. The Mac Mini has been Apple's silent powerhouse. Small, affordable, flexible, and far more powerful than people give it credit for. And now things are about to get even more interesting. Fresh leaks and insider reports reveal that Apple is preparing the next generation of Mac Minis, powered by the brand new M5 chips. And these aren't just small incremental upgrades. Early benchmarks suggest performance numbers so impressive that they could completely change how we think about Apple desktops. We're talking massive GPU leaps, pro-level performance in a tiny box, and Apple positioning the Mini as more than just an entry-level Mac. This could be Apple's smartest desktop strategy without so in today's deep dive. We're going to cover everything you need to know about the M5 Mac Mini 2025, from release date rumors, insider leaks, benchmark numbers, GPU performance, pricing, and design expectations, all the way to whether you should wait for the M5 or grab a discounted M4 right now. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where the Mac Mini fits into Apple's 2025 lineup, and why this small desktop could be the most exciting Mac of the year. Benchmark leaks that turned heads. Apple Silicon leaks are always exciting but notoriously tricky. Benchmarks pop up months ahead, sometimes from test hardware or analyst predictions. But earlier this year, the A19 chip benchmarks gave us a real preview of what to expect from the M5 family. Here's what early numbers look like: M5 standard single-core, 4115 multi-core, 16793 GPU, 80, 541 M5 Pro multi-core, 25, 674 GPU, 155, 00090, 000 M5 Max multi-core, 29, 431 GPU, 264, 560. The M5 base is already approaching M1 Ultra-level power. The M5 Pro rivals or surpasses the M4 Max and the M5 Max. It looks set to become the fastest Apple Silicon ever, outpacing even the M3 Ultra. But here's the real kicker: the biggest leap is in the GPU, not the CPU. And that tells us exactly where Apple is headed. The M5 chip family explained Apple rarely launches just one chip. Instead, they roll out an entire chip family: M5, base balanced for everyday use. Expected in the Mac Mini, MacBook Air, and entry iMacs. M5 Pro. Aimed at creators and developers. Likely coming to high-end Mac Minis and MacBook Pros. M5 Max. Workstation class power for 3D modeling, editing, and massive datasets. M5 Ultra. Unconfirmed. Following Apple's pattern, we might see a dual-die Ultra in a future Mac Studio or Mac Pro. For the Mac Mini, insiders suggest Apple is testing two versions, one with the M5 and one with the M5 Pro. That's the same dual strategy we saw with the M4 Mini, showing Apple wants the Mini to be a serious professional option, not just an entry-level machine. Why GPU is the big story. The CPU race has slowed. Across the tech world, raw CPU gains aren't doubling year after year anymore. But GPUs are where the real action is. Think about today's workloads: video editing and VFX. 8K timelines and multi-layer effects are GPU-heavy. 3D modeling and animation. Tools like Blender, Maya, and Cinema 4D depend on GPU parallelism. AI and machine learning. Training and running models is almost entirely GPU-driven. Gaming. With Apple's Metal API and game porting toolkit, major titles like Resident Evil and Death Stranding are already running on Mac ASO, when benchmarks show the M5 Max GPU outperforming the M3 Ultra. It's not a small jump. It's Apple saying we're ready for the AI era, for creative professionals, and maybe even for real gaming on Mac. The Mac Mini's journey. The Mac Mini has always had a unique place in Apple's lineup. In 2005, it launched as the BYODKM machine, bring your own display, keyboard, and mouse. During the Intel years, it was neglected with 4-year gaps between updates. Many thought it was doomed. Then Apple Silicon arrived. The M1 Mini shocked everyone, outperforming Intel iMacs and MacBook Pros at a fraction of the cost. The M2 Pro Mini brought real workstation-level performance, and the M4 Mini 2024 gave us the first chassis redesign in over a decade, compact aluminum, front USB-C ports, and Thunderbolt 5 support. Now the Mac Mini isn't just an entry-level Mac. It's a critical part of Apple's desktop strategy, used by developers, studios, and even data centers. Insider reports and release date insiders like Marco Ziek recently uncovered identifiers in Apple's backend pointing to 2 M5-powered Mac Mini models, one with the M5, one with the M5 Pro. That's a big deal. Remember, the Mini skipped the M3 entirely, going straight from M2 Pro to M4. So the fact that we're seeing M5 Mini identifiers means Apple isn't sidelining the Mini. It's actually making it the launch device for M5 Silicon. The rumored release? October 2025. That would make the Mac Mini the first Mac to debut the M5 generation, which is a strategic shift for Apple. M4 versus M5. Which should you buy? Here's the reality. Not everyone needs the M5 Mini right away. The M4 Mini is still incredibly capable, with Thunderbolt 5, a redesigned chassis, and excellent CPU/GPU performance. Even better? Prices are falling. Launched at $599, already discounted to $499 once the M5 arrives. Expect even deeper cuts and refurbished deals. For most users, the M4 Mini is the smarter buy. You'll get 80 to 90% of the M5's performance at a much lower cost. The M5 is really for 3D artists, AI researchers, 8K video editors, or those who just want the absolute latest tech. Design expectations. Don't expect flashy design changes this year. Apple just redesigned the Mini in 2024 after 14 years, so the M5 Mac Mini will likely stick with the same compact aluminum chassis, same front ports, and the same whisper quiet cooling. The differences will be under the hood: new chips, improved thermal handling, and possibly Wi-Fi 7 and Bluetooth 6. Apple tends to keep designs for many years, so this chassis is probably here to stay. Beyond the Mini, the M5 won't stop at the Mini. Reports suggest iPad Pro, late 2025 getting the M5, though most changes happened already with OLED in 2024. MacBook Pro and Mac Studio, 2026 expect M5 Pro and Max models to arrive here next. But the Mac Mini is taking the lead, making it the launch vehicle for Apple's next-gen silicon. Buying advice. So, should you buy the M5 Mac Mini 2025? If you're a professional needing GPU power for AI, 3D, or heavy video work, the M5 Pro Mini is your best bet. It's essentially workstation-class performance without the Mac Studio price tag. If you're an everyday user, the M4 Mini is the real value. Prices are dropping, and it still delivers incredible performance, so there you have it. The upcoming M5 Mac Mini 2025 looks like it could be a true turning point for Apple's desktop strategy. With massive GPU upgrades, workstation-level power, and Apple Silicon efficiency packed into such a small form factor, the Mini is no longer just the budget option. It's becoming a serious contender for professionals, creators, and even gamers who don't want to step up to the price of a Mac Studio. But the real question is it worth waiting? If you're a creative pro, AI researcher, or someone pushing GPU-heavy workloads, then yes, the M5 Pro Mini could be the sweet spot. But if you're an everyday user who just needs a reliable Mac for work, school, or content creation, the M4 Mini is still one of the best deals in Apple's lineup right now, especially with prices dropping fast. Now I want to hear from you. What's your move? Are you going to wait for the M5 Mac Mini? Or are you planning to scoop up a discounted M4 while the deals are hot? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every one of them and I'd love to know where you stand on Apple's silent powerhouse. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell icon so you never miss our deep dives into Apple's biggest upcoming products. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's next. We've got videos coming on the M5 MacBook Pro, the iPhone 17 rumors, and Apple's AI strategy for 2025. Until next time, this is your channel name. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.